All right, welcome back to the Randy Forcier podcast. Today I'm joined by my good friend, coworker at Norcom Mortgage, market manager, Kyle Keagan. Hey Kyle, how you doing,
Doing
pal?
well, Randy. How you doing?
Doing good, dude. Thanks for agreeing to join today and chat a little bit on the podcast.
Of course, yeah. No, it's my pleasure. You've been doing a good job with this, and happy for the first podcast in your new office there.
Yeah, I'm pumped. We got the whole bookcase in the back. We got teddy bears. We got some paper flowers my kids made, a bunch of pictures. So got to fill it up a little bit, but it's looking pretty good so far. So we're pumped to be here.
Yeah, you should have some awards coming there at some point soon.
Last ones I've gotten were like in 2017. It's been a while since we've gotten
we have a backlog of them. They're coming your way. They can pull the U-Haul up.
Yeah. Need to fill this wall up right here. So
I got you.
Next podcast. Yeah. But today I wanted to have you on because I wanted to kind of do a Norcom focus podcast. Obviously been at Norcom for 7 years now. Chris and I did a pod a couple weeks back, a month ago, where we talked about the story of how we came to be at Norcom, what it's been like the past 7 years. But that was really more of our story at Norcom. But people don't realize that there's a whole corporate structure for Norcom in Avon, Connecticut, hundreds of employees, marketing, compliance, underwriting, all that sort of stuff. A lot of people that we do business with think that it's just us and Saco that has our little Norcom Mortgage that we opened up our own, but we're part of this bigger company. So I want to spend some time talking a little bit about that. So why don't we start with what your role is and your background within Norcom?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, ideally, right, you guys are the face of it up there. So as quietly as we can all do the job efficiently back in Avon and corporate, the better off everyone is. But yeah, in my role, I'm a market manager for New England outside of Connecticut. I have a few spots in Connecticut, but mainly north. My job is to kind of go through, work with each branch, each LO, come up with goals at the beginning of the year, kind of figure out how we're going to attain those goals. And it's not just business goals, right? Like Randy, you and I have a pretty good relationship. We talk about other personal goals you want as well, family goals, whether it's working out, whether it's taking your bride for dates for a certain amount of times over the month. Those are really the things I love working with my branches on. So it's been fantastic. Yeah, the corporate structure here is great. We have obviously a full team, full marketing team and compliance team, pretty well locked in. So it's kind of a well-oiled machine.
When did you start at Norcom? Was it before? Was it after or before us? I kind of forget about it myself because we didn't always work together when we first started at Norcom.
No.
So I forget if you were here.
I was here. So 2015, beginning of April 2015, I started in.
So just like 2 months before us, 3 months.
Yeah, and I was in correspondent working with banks, credit unions, doing some third-party origination stuff, and was there until 2018 when I moved over to the retail side and started working with you guys.
Yeah, I can't believe how long it's been, but it's been great. It's been a great relationship for us. It's been fun working with you. What did you do before Norcom? Like, what did you do before and what made you switch and join a company like Norcom?
Yeah, so it's funny. I was actually working in the trust department for the Bank of Hawaii. So I was at a very, very corporate position working with the ultra high net worth clients at the Bank of Hawaii, which super interesting job. Got some great stories. Could be another pod for that, but it kind of the same feel, kind of the same responsibilities. I had a book of business. A lot of it was relationship management, which I love doing. I have a passion for that portion of this. And then there was also a big sales aspect too. We needed to bring on new trust clients, new trust business, as many assets as we can. So kind of the feel that we have going on right now in the industry.
Yeah. So you were living in Hawaii at the time?
I was.
Right. And then you've obviously moved back. You're from Connecticut, moved back to Connecticut, and then got set up at Norcom.
Yeah, and knew Phil through a family friend and interviewed with him, and immediately it was very non-corporate feel. It really did. I know it's kind of cliche to have that family feel, but it really does feel like that. I've met some of my closest friends I consider right now working here at Norcom, and it's been great. But yeah, moved my family back from Hawaii. My son was about to turn 1. Certainly the expense of it all, and so far so good. I haven't been served with divorce papers yet. So my wife grew up in Hawaii, so it was a little bit of a transition coming to the Northeast.
Had to pull her to the East Coast. But I mean, I agree with what you said. We've been here at Norcom for 7 years now, and definitely has always felt like family since when we first started working here. And I still very much get that feeling with everyone that I interact with. Everyone's kind of helping each other out. Doing loans can be very difficult sometimes. But if you have a solid team behind you, people that care about each other, it makes a huge difference. And it's really helped our success here up in Saco.
Awesome.
For sure.
I love that.
So it's been great. As far as what your efforts are nowadays at Norcom, I know you're trying to add new branches all the time or new loan officers. What's that process been like? It's a weird market right now for origination. So as far as trying to find new loan officers, what's that process like?
Yeah, I mean, it's critical. Growth is what we're after this year, and moving forward, we're really have an eye on growing. And our branches, you guys, as well as the majority of the others, have done a fantastic job of continually growing throughout your careers here. Mm-hmm. So that's been great. And it's just all about bringing on new loan officers, new branches. I mean, as well as anyone, it's what percentage of your day are you receiving calls from recruiters, right? It's kind of like I love that though.
I need to change my phone number.
Yeah, please do. Just let us know. So it's kind of getting that message out there, really controlling the narrative and letting everyone know what Norcom is really about, because it's crazy out there with the recruiting. It's nonstop. So I really feel like once people see and hear and hear from people they really trust that what we have to offer is something that could really help grow their business, then we find ourselves getting into more deeper conversations with some groups that would be a great fit here. And right now we're actually onboarding 2 really big new groups that we're excited about, and hopefully we have one in the Connecticut, Rhode Island, kind of the border there, and then another one in New York. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're thrilled about that. Hopefully we can kind of use that momentum to keep pushing forward and keep building up the business.
It seems like every few days there's a new email welcoming a new loan officer from a different part of the country, which is always good for us to see from our end of things, because we're very isolated up here in Saco, like very self-sufficient. We have our processes, we do our thing, but we aren't in that corporate environment. We don't really get a sense for how many new people are joining or people leaving. And when I do get those emails that new people have joined Norcom, it's nice, it's reassuring to see the company grow as much as it has.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's part of the thing we're talking about with controlling the narrative, right? So when people come on, we never did a really big blast out to kind of celebrate that win. And as we should, right? We consider ourselves a big family. We should celebrate these wins together, because as the brand grows, it's beneficial for all of the branches as well. So yeah, that was a thing we put into place, and I've gotten really good feedback on it. So
definitely, it's been cool to see. We occasionally see the list of loan officers, and it's like I don't even know half these people. But then there's obviously the people that we've known since we first got here. But it's been funny to see that evolution of the people that have worked here. Just like we used to when we were the new people, it's like all these people that you kind of look up to on these leaderboards and these lists, and to be like those people that are the old veterans at this point. It's funny how that's been. So.
That's awesome, man. You have really been such a solid partner for Norcom, and not just the business wise. We all know what you guys do for business, but just your personalities, how much operations enjoys working with you guys. It's really been a great partnership. So, yeah.
I appreciate that, and it's always nice to hear. Every time we talk to someone back in Avon, or if they're working from home, it seems like we're just like old friends, underwriters, clients, operations. I mean, everyone's closing department there. Everyone's just amazing. So as far getting back to the loan officer stuff, though, I don't know if these numbers off the top of your head, but how many loan officers do we have and branches do we have nowadays?
It's in I believe the mid 30s for branches. I think we're right around 300 total employees. We can get a graphic to correct me, like when you edit this, be off by a certain percentage.
That's what I would expect, though, right? Like it's hard to keep track all the time for me. I mean, that number's kind of went up and down over the past 7 years, so I remember it being a little bit different than that in the past, but that sounds about right. People always ask me too, like, where do we lend in the country? How many states is it at this point?
I do know. We're mainly on the East Coast, so up and down from Maine to Florida, but we have a bunch of other states. We're in Texas, we're in California, Ohio. Yeah. There's a bunch more kind of in the middle there that we have licenses for. We don't do a tremendous amount of business. So we really consider ourselves kind of like more of an East Coast lender, but we still do business in Texas, California.
Yeah. One of the things that most people don't realize is that we have a pretty big presence in Guam.
That's
Guam of all places. someone told me, I don't know if it was you or someone else told me in the past that like the number 2 or 3 lender in all of Guam, and the other ones are like bigger banks. I don't know who, it might have been Mark that had told me in the past, but it was like Citibank, some other huge company, and then Norcom Mortgage as a top lender over there. We really haven't locked down.
Yeah, we're number 2. I think we're still sitting at number 2. Bank of Hawaii, my old employer, is kind of who we're battling for that spot.
Okay, so it's Bank of Hawaii.
I mean, Mark Ergot and his team have done just such a tremendous job over there. They've built such a solid brand, and there's a lot of brand loyalty over there. So you do a good job by someone. Word spreads pretty quickly, and the fact that they produce loans that have 0 conditions on them at times, and we get those emails from, obviously, underwriters are thrilled to get those files. So yeah, Guam is our number 1 branch right now.
They've been crushing it over the past few years. And Guam, what has like maybe 150,000 people, 200. I have no clue what it is, but I assume there's at least in the hundreds of thousands of people.
It's not a tremendously populated island, but yeah, they've got a great position over there, and they do really clean, great VA loans, high balance VA loans. So they're doing fantastic.
Obviously a big military presence over there, but people forget that they need homes too. So it's one of those things that we've managed to capture that niche and do really well over there, which is great.
So just to flip it on you real quick, what are a few of your favorite things that have come up working with Norcom? I know we have great relationships and friendships and stuff, but is there anything else you can think of that has really been like a Norcom employee?
Yeah. So for me, the thing that always comes to mind whenever I'm talking about Norcom that way is our ability to close on time. So I think even more so than interest rates and the rate that we offer people, the ability for us to close on time is one thing that can really separate you as a loan officer. So take great pride in that. There's a lot of things that people don't realize that I have no control over. Like I have no control over any seller circumstances. I have no control over when an appraisal comes in or any title issues and all that sort of stuff. But yet we're kind of the ones that have to manage all that stuff. And if we didn't close on time, it's kind of our fault, if it's not really our fault, right? So more times than people realize, we get put in these positions to have to turn something around really quick or last minute. And our ability to do that, I think, is second to none, at least in our local market. Our ability to have an issue or an appraisal come in the day before. I mean, I had one last week. I forget what it was. There's some issues with the appraisal. There's some other stuff, and it didn't even get resolved till I don't believe the morning of the closing. And closing department operations turned that around. We closed that same day. I mean, it was definitely a little bit bumpy for the people involved, but we set expectations along the way, and we closed on the original closing date. Didn't affect any of the seller's circumstances around what they were doing next, and the buyers had their movers all lined up. So, our ability to do that is it's something that I value so much.
I love that. Yeah, Mike Dimmick and his team they understand that you guys are the front lines, right? So it doesn't matter that the appraisal came in low. That's Randy's fault, right? to a certain extent. So they've always been great as far as really helping out when they can, and whether it's a rush closing or putting off a QC, something like that, they've been good about moving along to keep that closing date.
And that's another thing people don't realize, that there's a process for quality control on a loan, right? Like when a loan gets through, just to kind of talk a little bit of business stuff real quick, when a loan gets what's called final approval, we're ready to close, there's that one last step where QC has to review everything, make sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. And so that process can take a little bit of time. And if you don't leave enough time between then and closing, it can be a little bit tricky. So people like Mike Dimmick and Ops and Jane in closing, those people are so huge for us. And they realize that when we're asking for a rush, we're not doing that because we've just been sitting on our hands for the past 5 weeks. It's because we need to, and that people are counting on us, not only the buyers and sellers, but our realtor partners that are referring these deals to us. So they really bent over backwards. I don't even remember the last time that I've asked for a rush on things, and they were just like, no, we aren't in the position to accommodate this. That's never the response. The response is so-and-so will get it done for you. And then we'll just close on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. We know there's lots of lenders out there, right? They're a dime a dozen. So what we kind of rest on is the fact that we will get it done, and we have the sales staff that borrowers trust and will keep coming back to. So it's really what it's all about, closing on time and keeping your referral partners and your borrowers happy.
I also love those President Club trips that we do. Those are always a good time.
Although
we're
coming up on, we're going to have Aruba, right? Aruba, got Ritz-Carlton. So, yeah.
Really? All right. Breaking news for me, at least. I didn't know it was the Ritz, but we've gone to some pretty cool places. And when we're there, it's like you're hanging out with old college buddies because we don't get a chance to see each other that often. Do you have anything else going on in Norcom that you'd want to share? Those are the big things, the recruiting efforts, the ops team, everything else that we got going on there.
This year, with the last 2 years obviously being so crazy with business coming in, this year, as we've seen some stuff slow down, I've been really proud about what the management team has put in place. We've got the product specialists we brought in, and we're just bringing on as many products as we can. So we've got the construction piece we're doing now, really amping up our renovation lending. It's going to be a big part of our business going forward. Obviously, lacking inventory can create some issues there. So renovation can be a great tool for getting through there. So I've been really proud of what Norcom's done to kind of combat the slowdown.
Yeah, that's huge.
Do as much as we can, listen to our sales staff and hear what you guys need, and kind of go from there and take some of your advice.
Chris just closed one of the new construction loans that we have. And I mean, I think he's happy with how it all turned out. It's something that I'm sure we'll do more of in time. But in case people don't realize this, obviously there's an inventory shortage on homes, right? The ones that do get listed are super competitive. So what people are being forced to do is go find land and build a new house on it. In the past, that isn't something that we've necessarily been able to do. It's more of a local bank type product. But like you just said, Norcom added that product. We can now do a traditional construction loan for people and help them finance the construction of a new house. Huge, super important in this market. Renovation loans, like you were saying, that's something that I've done a decent amount of in my career, but I think has a pretty strong place moving forward. A renovation loan allows people to finance the cost of renovations in the loan, right? Whether it's part of the purchase, you're buying a house with the intention to repair or renovate it, or if it's a house you already own and you want to finance the cost of those repairs or renovations. It's huge. Like the houses that are on the market, yes, some of them might not meet what people are looking for. So these renovations.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the argument can be made that any purchase could be done as a rental loan, right? It's not just for dilapidated houses. I ended up doing a refi renovation loan to redo my whole main floor, but if I had known going in that I could even just replace windows or replace a roof or put new flooring in, you can go in and
appliances. There's all kinds of stuff.
So it's a fantastic product, and we do a great job of it because we house a lot of the stuff internally and are kind of masters of the reno business. So it's fantastic product.
The other thing too that I'm excited about, I think we've talked about this, but we formalized that relationship with Partners Bank, a local bank up here in Maine. I know that Norcom has some other relationships like this, maybe more central to Connecticut, but as far as like a Maine local bank being an official partner of ours, Partners is the first. And it's been awesome for us, man, because now we can broker home equity loans, land loans, just portfolio loans, just some stuff that has traditionally been a local bank type loan product, stuff that we were never able to do, or lenders like us have never been able to do. It allows us to open some doors, maintain relationships with people. I mean, I've probably closed 3 or 4 home equity loans with people that have reached out to me to do cash out refinances to one person wants to pay for a wedding, someone that wants to consolidate a bunch of old school loans, they want to do some general home improvements. It doesn't make sense to do a traditional cash out refinance, at least at this point. I mean, I hate to say it, it's just the nature of rates right now. Interest rates are in the mid 6s, and a lot of these people that I've done loans for over the years are upper 2s or 3s. It's a tough sell for them to refinance that loan into a higher rate just to take out $50,000 to do something like that. So what we're able to do with this partners relationship is keep that first mortgage in place. And then this is a second mortgage. And these aren't big loans and that stuff, but that stuff doesn't matter. I'm just happy to help new customers, old customers, someone achieve their goal, and they're going to put themselves in a better position by paying off their debt or whatever they need to do. And we'll catch them on the next one for their,
That's exactly
for their
right.
first
Servicing your borrowers, keeping that trust there. It's also great for that bank relationship because Norcom being a non-depository, we're the perfect partner for these banks.
Yeah, we're not going to try to steal their deposits and their car loans and all that sort of
We
stuff.
have products they're not typically offering a lot of them, and vice versa. So we do have a good amount of partnerships like that, and they've been really, really good going for both sides. So
Yeah. I mean, so many people, I got a land loan that's going right now too. That's stuff that I never would have been able to touch. And honestly, I didn't have a great place to even refer to in certain cases because a lot of relationship or bank relationship as I've had have ebbed and flowed and people kind of move on. So I mean, if someone last year reached out to me for a land loan, I'd be like, just wherever you do your banking, go there and see what they can do to help you. And now it's like, we can actually help with that.
That's great.
Awesome. Yeah. Pumped about that. So, I mean, look forward to seeing how products change over the years to come. The past few years, it's been just conventional financing, right? That's been like what everyone's had to do. We've been in this market where it's such a seller's market that sellers almost dictate that buyers have a very certain type of financing. But I think as things slow down a little bit, and some of the older products that we used to do a lot kind of come back into play, there may be some new ones that we can use to help our customers achieve whatever they're trying to achieve, whether it's buying homes or refinancing and all that stuff.
And with this product specialist that we have, Michael Lim, he's got his ear to the ground. So, and we tell all of our salespeople, if you hear of a lender or another outlet that you have interest in, let us know. We'll do the work on the backside and make sure we get it in as soon as possible.
Yeah, another thing too is been really happy with the marketing team lately. I know Chris has leaned on them for some unique videos. I know Andy, who's our head of marketing, reached out about having some guys come up to the office up here in Saco, film some stuff, which we'll be taking them up on. So there's different online stuff that we're doing. I think we're going to have I think we were just talking about it offline, but about doing an open house up here at our new office. And I know they'll help with some of the branding that we have for that, coordinating the event. So marketing's been killing that lately.
You guys have
really
a face for video. So I've been telling them, get those cameras up there. As long as we can convince Bri. We just got to convince Bri to get in front of the camera. We'll be good.
I don't know if it's possible.
We can get him. We can get him.
Don't know that it'll ever happen. He's been like that for 7 years. I think it may never change.
He wants videos now. I know it.
He's got the look, man. He's got to get him. We got to get him on there. Well, I'll work on that with you and Andy and Chris. Yeah. We'll see if we can make that happen. How about Norcom Cooks? Is that still a thing? I need some Kyle videos cooking.
Man, come down, do one with us. We got another one coming up in September. So we've got some new faces, some new recipes. You got any suggestions what we should do?
I am just as easy as it can be when it comes to eating stuff, man. You put it in front of me and I'll eat it. So I'll just wait for
maybe I'll do some of that beer cheese soup that you got down there at the run of the mill.
Ooh. Run of the mill. That's funny. When you guys come
Great
here,
spot.
The only place that we go. We also do Norcom Cares Golf Tournament, which is worth mentioning. It's pretty cool that we happen to win this year.
Wasn't particularly close, but whatever. No one was counting. No, that's great. We raised over 50 grand this year, 50 grand last year, and even though it got rained out last year, so it's tremendous. And we've throughout the year we'll donate money to charities in the local communities and the branches. So it really is fantastic. And we do beer and wine tasting. That's usually a great event, and we're going to have some other fundraising activities this year as well.
We need reasons to go down to Avon and hang out. Just keep me posted on all that stuff.
Yeah.
So awesome, dude. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. I want to thank you for coming on, man. I love my Norcom peeps. Love you guys. Thanks for all the support that you give us, man. It's been an awesome 7 years. Looking forward to the years to come. Just
me too.
Super proud of
everything
we got going on here.
It's a pleasure working with you guys.
What's the best way to connect with you, man? You have LinkedIn, you have Facebook page, all that sort of stuff. Anything that's worth sharing in terms of how people
on LinkedIn? Kyle Keagan should be Keagan, and then I still struggle with that. I think my own family struggles with it as well. So and that's pretty much it. Not a huge Facebook presence, but I have the Facebook business account, and but LinkedIn, cell phone 860-839-5291. I constantly have it on me, so call me, text me.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks again, bud. We'll have to do it again sometime, but I appreciate you coming on.
All right, see ya.